Okay. So you'll be able to, oh, I lost my place. Oh, your mindset. So you have to just sort of start thinking about changing your mindset. So whenever you hear something you disagree with, whenever you have a hard position on something, the goal here is to step back and say, I'm willing to see things differently. So that's one thing I want you to write down, because that's a hard shift that we're gonna make. Another one is going to be visualization. Just like in that prayer, I said, visualize taking your baggage to the front door and leaving it there. This should be a space where you have clarity. So you're going to be doing some visualization, visualizing yourself the way you want to be, the size you want to be, and all of it. So this is where you're going to be thinking differently. And it's not crazy, so here's an example. And I love these things. I think about something you love. Think about your favorite fragrance. Think about your favorite, your first puppy, or something that you love, your comfy blanket. Thinking about these things make you feel a certain way. Feel that in your heart, the appreciation, the love, the excitement that you have when you have these good feelings. So we're going to be using our emotions, visualization, thoughts to harness that. Because what we do, and you've probably been doing it a lot lately, or you know exactly what I mean, we focus on the negative way more. If we get an evaluation of 10 positive things and one negative thing for improvement, we'll focus on the negative thing. This whole journey is about shifting that mindset to focus on the positive, to be the pathway through which we'll get the comfort and the guidance and the confidence to get to the place of wellness that we need. Again, whether it's eating, whether it's depression, it's whatever ails you. When you start to look through it through a different lens, you can't treat the same problem using the same tools that got you there. That is the key to the transformation we're going to make. You're not going to try the same things that you tried before. You're going to operate differently. You're going to operate on a higher level where you can hear guidance that's perfect for your life and your purpose, that's calling you so that you can achieve all that it is you need to achieve. But it's going to take a mindset shift. So you're going to be using things that are like magical, mystical, spiritual, out of the box thinking. What we want to do is change those pathways and brain waves, those synapses that take us the same way, the same route that we think all the time. We have to change that. So I'm going to be asking you to do something new, to go for a walk, go do something different, go to a different restaurant, try a different food, get a new hairstyle, wear a color you don't normally wear. Constantly, I want you to make this, write this down, change my mindset. Thinking, be willing to see things differently. That is going to be key to everything that we're doing here, okay? And I want you to sort of hold on to that. My example for this week is, as soon as I get off this phone, I'm calling my mother, because today is her birthday. And she is turning 80, and I'm just so excited. I've never been as excited for my parents. I'm always excited for my birthday, but it's really great to have lived a long life and to hit a milestone such as this. And there's a thing that happens when you're transitioning in any place, when you're transitioning in your 20s, and in your 30s and your 40s. Another assignment we had from last week was to chart your life path and see where you had inflection points. And if you haven't done that, do that. And I think, for me turning, getting 50 last year, that's a turning point. I showed when I turned 40, that was a definite turning point. And I could see how 60, 70, 80 or whatever, it doesn't have to be on the decade, how you have to think differently. So when you're getting older, you have to maybe ask for more help than you needed to. And that becomes a problem. Or for me, when I can't lose the weight that I used to be able to, or be the size that I want it to be, that becomes a problem. So until you start to recognize the place where you are in transition and embrace that and not push against it, you'll find your wellness. You'll find it's the same. We all do it at different levels, or we'll, at different points, different inflection, whether we're moving, whether we're having a birthday, whether we're a certain size, we all have these points of transition. And our best tool to finding our wellness and our happiness through that transition is to allow ourselves to think differently and to accept accept where we are in the current moment. And so we'll be talking about a lot of that. How do you accept where you are when it's not where you want to be? And that's what we'll be talking through. It's these tools. It's when you take the space of meditation, when you're getting rest, when you're eating right, when you're exercising, you have the clarity to see the synchronicities and the coincidences, and to hear and see how God is talking to you in a different way. You'll smell things that you didn't smell. You'll get coincidences and hits that come to you. So last week my word was abundance. Everyone went away with the word. I hope to hear by the end of this, I'm going to open this up. Anyone who had those key things, key words, intention, I'd love to hear what happened for you this week, or if you heard it more than often, if it resonated. Last week, my word was abundance. We put our house on the market to sell in Cleveland. And I'm starting this journey. And so I really want it to be abundant for me, for you. I want someone to come by that house. Like, I don't need another month because the renters have moved out. And so really just trying to call in abundance. And I've been feeling really excited. I've been excited about this call. We've gotten more people signed up. We're almost at 40 people, and we wanted a minimum of 10 with a target of 20. So we are ecstatic about the participation on this call. So that's abundance. And then my husband comes home and tells me about an opportunity that his company's sending him to China, which I've never been in that part of the world. So I'm going to piggyback. So we suddenly have a huge whirlwind trip coming up, and that is abundance. That is nothing but abundance. So I can recognize that because my mind, I'm able to see when you call an intention and then something happens, but a lot of times we don't. And that's a practice, and you're going to start getting that practice. So then you can feel that excitement, like, wow, I put it out there and it happened. I'm co-creating. I'm not just focused on the negative. Abundance also, I ate too much. I didn't lose any weight. I had an abundance of food this week. So it goes both ways, abundance, but it's abundant. I have been truly abundant. The universe has been providing, and I am just tickled pink. And I'm excited for you all because you're going to get the same type of blessings. They're just going to flow down. It's real. They're already there. That's another thing. Write this down. You already have everything you need within you. You're already enough. It's just getting the barriers, the baggage out of the way that we can't see. Sometimes it's in depression, a loss, fear, unhealthiness. These things, they clog our vision to our true birthright, which is our happiness and our wellness. And so the mindset shift is key for whatever part of your life, wherever you're transitioning, it's key. So, and I want you to, and we're definitely going to get to the itinerary in a few minutes, but I wanted to cover and get everyone back to the same page and really get this mindset going. I also want you to, in this next week leading up to the kickoff to May 1st, declutter. Okay, that also gives you space. Clean out a closet, clean out a cabinet, take a bag to Goodwill. You're in the preparation stage, so you want to make space so that you can bring more good things in. You want to declutter whatever baggage, and again, we're talking at a higher level. So, but it translates into stuff around your house. Everything has energy. What is it you're holding on to that you don't need anymore? How old is that food in your pantry? How many bags of clothes could be helping someone else? What's in the trunk of your car? Really? So these are the things. So I did this week, I moved my furniture around. I didn't do any shopping. Well, I did do a little bit, but not for the house. I moved the furniture around. I put the plants outside. I cleaned off my little patio, which is like super tiny. But I made it an oasis. And so I just did all that change just by moving furniture around, by doing a little extra cleaning and putting plants out and just sort of reorganize. So I am getting ready, decluttering, getting clear for this journey. And that's the type of opening up that I want you to start doing every day. I want you to be thinking about this journey. I want you to be dreaming about, my wellness. How do I improve my wellness? What is blocking me? And then you'll be using these tools to help you get through and get past. So I'm going to tell you a lot. It's all for you to practice different things. I may tell you 100 things to do. There's books, there's books to read, podcasts, links to check out. There's movies to see, talks to watch, crystals to buy, learn a chakras. There's a gazillion things you can do. So there's 7 major area of intentions I'm going to give you, but I'm going to introduce you to a lot of other things that I would ask you to try. Every day I'd ask you to try something new. Every day I'm asking you to journal and capture your aha moments. I want you to be present and be present with the journey. So that means every day you're recognizing this doesn't work for me, or this does work for me. And you're going to continue to go through and create your own curriculum. A person's path and purpose is personal. But I can tell you, and I say it all the time, we all have the same purpose, essentially, which is to live to our fullest potential to do what it is that the universe and God has for us to do. That is what, so the question is, how do I do that? How do I know? What is that? And how you know is by getting centered and being able to clearly hear what God has for you. And when your body is clear, when your mind is clear, when you're transparent and you're operating at a higher energy, then you can hear these things and things flow. And that's where we're going to get into. So I want you to watch the flow, catch the synchronicities, catch those coincidences, set intentions, watch when things happen. I want you to be mystical and magical in your thinking. I want you to walk past people and bless them, and they won't even know. This is how, I want you'll be radiating in such a way that that's how you receive. And gratitude is one of the 7 intentions. So the things that you put out are the things you get. Okay, so mindset. And then I want to just give you a shocker for some of you. I think everyone who signed up for this did it with intention. Everyone wants to be happy, to have a sense of wellness and well-being, peace, inner peace, fulfillment, health, vitality, wellness. So this is for real. This 60-day journey, I want you to take it seriously. I want you to make it a priority. This is a shocker. If you thought, I'm just going to try this little thing and we'll see, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. It will work. It will work for you. It will be transformational for you. You will learn some things, and you'll be trying different things every day, and you'll discard what doesn't resonate with you. But what does resonate, I want you to hold on to it and write that word down. Resonance. If something has resonance with you, where we talk about something and you're like, ooh, okay, I get that. Or that gave me chills or whatever. Start paying attention to those things, because those things are how life is talking to you. Those are the signs. Those are the intuitive hits. That's your emotional guidance system that I want you to start following. And I will be reminding you of this all the time, because it's all about being present. We get signs, omens, God's talking to us all the time, constantly. It's just, what do we pick up? What are we hearing? And so I am happy. I am just so excited to be able to be a channel or a conduit, to be able to help deliver, a message, a nugget, a sliver, a something that helps along the way. Okay, so enough talk. I want to go through the itinerary. It was attached to the invite that went out 2 days ago. So I hope you have it. If not, we will resend it. I don't know what's the system that with the emails, everyone's not checking their emails, getting them, or I don't know if they're going to spam, but we will get this cleaned up. But it was on your email attachment. If anyone who got an email 2 days ago can tell me if you see it in your email. People who have joined recently, you don't have it, but we will make sure that it comes back out to you. And I'm going to go over it real quick, and we're going to put it, you will be getting a hard copy also. Okay, great. So some people have it on that meeting invite, so you can follow along if you want, but I'm going to tell you about it. So next week, we start on May 1st. We won't have a call. I will send an email. I may do a short video and send it out, but I want to keep the rhythm of the Thursday calls. So we'll do this every Thursday at 7:30 for the next 9 weeks. Okay, so if you don't have the meeting invite, put it on your calendar. I can always give you a link, but this is the time that we're going to hold for the rest of this journey. Next week, on Wednesday, is May 1st. You will, abundance. Here's my abundance. So my book is complete. Evan is my self-publishing publisher. He has it in his hands, and he will be putting them in the mail to you tomorrow. So it's coming up. It's going to come up close to Wednesday. So you may not have much time to really get into it before Wednesday. But that's okay, because I will send you a link. I'm going to send you like the first few days of journal, the things that you'll be looking at. And then we're going to go through it right now, so you'll know what to do. But you will have the book. So the first 10 days is based on my book, and it's called My Life Retreat. And this is where you're introduced to the 7 areas of intention. Okay, and then each week, we're going to cover one of those 7 areas with more intensity. I'll do a talk, and then we'll have time to open up and you can ask questions. So in the first 10 days, you're going to chart these 7 areas of intention. The 7 areas are meditation, exercise, mindful eating, daily affirmations and journaling, kindness and gratitude, rest, and self-care. Those are the 7 areas. And so I'm going to take you through, in the book will, what your target is. So every day you'll meditate, and these are goals. Now, I know that people are, I don't meditate. I'm going to lead a morning and an evening call. We will send out a meeting invite. You can call into for 10 or 15 minutes. So if you're new to meditating, a little intimidated, I'm going to provide a platform so that you can call in. But there are apps out there. You can try things on your own. There's just a wealth of knowledge. And if you don't want to dial into me, but you want some recommendations, just send me an email, and I will email other places that you can go just to get started. But I will be leading some meditation just to make it like easy for everyone to at least get started, because it can be a little intimidating, but it shouldn't be. It's just you find a space to be your best self in stillness, which everyone can agree we need. And it is a higher element. And so this is just a time to really practice that at a greater level. Okay. So the first week, next Thursday, we're going to talk more in depth about the 7 areas of intention. We're going to talk about the 24 points system. And so it'll help a lot when you have your book and when you have the journal. But I'll run through each of them now as I run through the week. You'll be charting these each one daily for the first 10 days. And I also want to say before we start, there is a link for you to join Weight Watchers as well. That is in addition to, but the link will give you 1 free month of Weight Watchers. Even if you don't need to lose weight, I am recommending that you join Weight Watchers because it will track the quality of the foods you eat. That's the key here. It's really, you'll know high point foods, you can't meet your daily quantity of points if you're eating unhealthy foods. And so that is why I love the Weight Watcher program. I've done it for a gazillion years on and off between all other types of things. And I always come back because it's just the most well-balanced. It takes time. You're going to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. It's going to be healthy and consistent. It's not going to be crazy. Some weeks you won't lose any. Some weeks you'll lose more. But for a long-term, normal, changing your mindset, changing the way that you eat and drink, it's great. So, okay, so here we go. For the first 10 days, we're going to do the My Life Retreat. I just named the 7 areas of intention. So every day is meditation. That's 4 points. Preferably you'll do it twice a day. So I would say 2 points per, but every day you'll get 4 points for meditation. You'll get 8 points for 8 hours of sleep. So every day for the first 10 days, your goal is to rest. The point of the retreat is to retreat from your normal daily living. You have to do something different, and these are foundational things that will improve your lifestyle. These aren't new. You go Google them, go research them. Doctors are recommending them. Religions are recommending them. Self-help, they're staples. There's not a new concept, maybe new that you maybe aren't meditating, but the concept of stillness is not a new concept. So these things that you'll be doing, it's really putting them all together with intention in a dedicated amount of time is where the power is. Making that practice, doing the self-work, that is where the power is. So the first 10 days are important. So it's like the immersion, but it's also a retreat. So this premise came from, I went to several wellness retreats last year, and they were awesome. And they were really a little bit of research, but they all had some of the same things. And I cannot continue to go to wellness retreats every time I want a boost. Now I can tell you, I had an awakening. They were amazing. But when you come back home, it's hard to integrate these things. It's hard to keep the same high from a vacation and the same goodwill that you had from this journey, a spiritual journey or a happening. It's hard to keep that consistent. It's hard to keep that elevation. But these things, if you practice regularly, you can keep that elevation. You don't have to go away. You have everything already within you. So it is keeping these things within you, learning the practice, taking that retreat the first 10 days, putting yourself first will build the muscles to a point that the next 50 days hopefully will seem much more as if you're in the flow, because you'll be understanding some things, you will have practiced, and then that's when you'll be creating much more of your own program. So I'm going to ask you to stay with me, be a little bit more intense in the first 10 days, follow the 10-day plan. So we have meditation, Out of 24 points, meditation is 4 and sleep is 8. That's half of them there. Okay, so that just shows you how important rest is. If you can't sleep for 8 hours, then just quiet. Just turn off the electronics, turn off the phone, read a book, but just practice silence and rest. Make sure that it's restful. So rest and meditation is important. So the first week we'll focus on meditation. That'll be the talk, but we'll also be doing the morning and evening meditations. So that'll be the indoctrination. Okay, we're going to complete the retreat in week 1. And week 2 is going to carry over. Week 1 will really just look at the book, look at the journal. You'll have it in your hand. So next Thursday, we'll look at it in detail. Week 2, we'll talk about meditation. We'll finish the retreat because the retreat, the at-home retreat is 10 days. And I'll do the guided meditations in week 2. Week 3, exercise. Exercise is 2 points. We want you to exercise every day that first 10 days for at least 30 minutes. Okay, so that's just getting you in the habit of movement. Go for a walk, lift cans of food. It does not have to be strenuous. It just has to be activity. Getting your body moving, part of what we want to look at when we look at exercise and mindful eating is how important our body is, but we are not our body. We place too much emphasis on we are a spirit and our body is what contains what we use, but we are so much more than our body. But our body is so important, and we have to bring in the love and kindness to our body to keep carrying us around, because it just becomes a barrier. It becomes a barrier to all this other greatness that we have because we limit ourselves by putting things that aren't good for us in our body. So once we can start exercising, getting the adrenaline, the endorphins, just all types of physical benefits come from just walking outside is the best. I mean, the treadmill is fine, but if you can get out, that's great. Okay, so every day in the first 10 days, meditation, sleep, exercise. We'll talk more in detail about exercise in the 3rd week, asking any questions. 4th week, mindful eating. Okay, this is also, again, I'm telling you what we're going to talk about, but mindful eating in the first 10 days, there's 4 points attached to mindful eating. This is so simple. 1 point for each. WASP is the mnemonic. W is no white flour. A is no alcohol. S is no sugar. P is no processed food. So for the first 10 days, no WASP. That's up to 4 points. 1 point for each. So here it is. If you still want to drink, you're only going to lose 1 point. The point of this is to make you mindful, so you can keep track. So you get a I'm not supposed to be eating sugar or processed food. But once you've done it for the day, you've lost that point for the day. That's not to say be bad for the day, but it's not meant to be punitive. It's meant to just put that tick there to make you mindful. So out of the 24 points, if you drink and eat white flour, then you're down to 22 points. If you only sleep 6 hours instead of 8 hours, you're down another 2 points. So you're down at 20 points. The idea would be that you would stay above, you would be doing all these things to be at above 18, 20 points a day to really be making a change. Really 20 to 24, you're really doing the work. And so that way you can track and facilitate and really sort of sense, and you'll be journaling and saying, what's my mood? Is it making any difference? Is it making, you'll be able to see over time. Okay. So that's mindful eating, is that WASP piece. That's why I think combined with Weight Watchers. So Weight Watchers will really get on the quality of the food and the amount that you're eating. But mine, the 4 points for WASP, that's just to get toxins out of your body. That's just to stop eating the garbage that commercial places put in our food. That is blocking us. So that it's not a detox, but it is the way to start being mindful about what you're eating. Is it good for you? Is it toxic? Is it refined? Is it sugar? Is it slowing you down? Then be mindful about not eating those things, or at least how they feel when you do eat them. Okay, so that's week 4. But also every day for the first 10 days will be, the target is no wasp. And I'm ready for it. I'm excited. And the reason I'm excited too is that Monday is the beginning of the week, but we're not starting till Wednesday. And if you're like me, it takes a couple days to sort of get in the groove. So I would say sign up for the Weight Watchers. Try to start some of these things on Monday. Then by Wednesday, when it's day 1 to put this all together, you've decluttered, you've gone grocery shopping, you know how you want to eat. So that Wednesday, when we go strong. Every day, daily affirmations and journaling. You will get a journal, but positive self-talk is not a joke, right? It's not you've got to encourage yourself. And we're here to encourage one another. I am certainly here to encourage you. But daily affirmations, that was my first book, 366 Days of Daily Affirmations to Improve Your Well-Being, mostly around mindful eating, but just in general to improve your well-being. So that's another book, if you don't have, you can pick up. But we will have daily affirmations in your journal, especially the first 10 days for you to start with, and then ask you to create your own based on the blank you filled in earlier. What is it that you're trying to achieve here? What is it that you're trying to do? And so what are you affirming? What is your intention? So every day you're working on your mindset and you're being intentional. Okay. So journaling and affirmations is it's going to really make a difference. I know before I tried a lot of years to journal and I just couldn't stick with it. So, but it is a practice. And now sometimes I'm like, oh, where's my book? I got to write this down. It is an awesome tool to help you stay mindful. And again, we're trying to change our mindset. We're trying to be on top of what's going to keep us and make us the healthiest that we can be. Okay. Kindness and gratitude. Okay. And these are 2 points. I think all of these are in the 2-point areas. Kindness and gratitude every day. Do something out of these 10 days. Show someone a kindness, extend a niceness to someone, write a note, bless someone, call someone. It's not that hard, but gratitude is, I call it the magical elixir. It is the language that, it's the frequency that the universe uses to communicate back through you. So if you're not grateful for anything, if you're just pissed off all the time, it is very hard to hear the good news. It's hard to hear what God's trying to tell you, what the universe is trying to tell you, because you got your blinders on. But when you're in gratitude and when you're in giving, then you're just able to receive so much. So gratitude as a practice it's not new, but I'm telling you, it's a practice. You have to incorporate this every day until it just is like, you don't even think about it. You're just doing nice stuff for people all the day. You're being kind. You bless someone in the street. You see a car accident or someone homeless, you send them a prayer. Even if you can't give them the money out of your pocket, you can always bless somebody. And it doesn't have to cost you anything. So I love that. Rest, we talked about the 8 hours. Well, again, in week 7. Oh, I mentioned in week 6, kindness and gratitude. Evan, my son Evan, will be presenting that week. We may be tag teaming it. And I shared the story about my kids being in a car accident 9 years ago now. And Evan is paralyzed and quadriplegic, and he is my right-hand man. He does a lot. He just moved into his own first home. He finished college, undergrad on time. He's getting his master's right now and working with me. And he's an entrepreneur. And he's going to be 24 next month. Oh my God. In May. So he practices kindness and gratitude. He practices gratitude being paralyzed. he is amazing. And so we're going to hear from him on kindness and gratitude. And he's inspired a lot of people. He inspires me all the time. And I don't want to give him a big head on this call, but he is the one who I think you're just going to be absolutely enchanted. So that's week 6. So definitely try to call in for that one. I've asked him to give a little tour of his house too, and the things that he's doing. It's really something. We talked about rest. That'll be week 7. And then week 8 is self-care. Every day for the first 10 days. Now remember, it's called My Life Retreat is the first 10 days. You will be on, I want you to think of it as a retreat. I want you to think of taking time off. So if you can, but for self-care every day, do something for you. Get your nails done, go get a massage, go get your doctor's appointments done. So this week, I want you to take time to plan what your self-care is going to be, especially for those first 10 days. What are you going to do every day? Mine was I would take a nap. I love naps. So I would feel guilty, like, oh, I can't, I got so much to do. But no, it helped me rejuvenate. I think siestas that Latin American countries do, I think that's the best idea. It just makes so much sense. I'm all down with it. So for me, it was naps, or I got a massage, or a facial, or I joined this or that, and just, I didn't break the bank. But every day I did something that I wanted to do. I watched 2 movies in a row. It was like a Netflix day, or whatever. But I watched a comedy. So things that are just self-care, not things you always do. Again, we're trying to do things that are different. We're changing our mindset. We're doing things that we want to do. And so every week I have a higher practice. So for that week, for self-care, which was week 8, I'm saying scratch something off your bucket list. So start thinking about things that you can do that you've always wanted to do that are just for you. And then whether it's in the first 10 days or whether you wait for week 8, or whether you just do it whenever, start practicing self-care and think about your bucket list. Think about things. You're living your life now. We're going to change our mindset into we're not waiting to live our life in the future, or we're not waiting to die. We're not waiting for anything. We're living our best life now, and changing that mindset that everything that we want good is on the horizon. You are healthier this minute than you were last minute, or you'll be healthier tomorrow than you were today, because every day and everything that you do, every time you make a better decision for yourself, then you are better than you were. Every time you're helpful, every time you're giving, every time you're in gratitude, every time you're feeding your body better, you're immediately better than you were the minute before. So I want to close with bringing that all together, reminding you, we start on Wednesday. You will hear from me again. We will meet every Thursday. In the interim, I want you to think about your private journey. Again, what are you trying to accomplish? What does wellness look like to you? What does your life look like that you will achieve? What does it look like? Won't that be great? Visualize it. Start to visualize, not just like when I say take a picture and put it on the refrigerator. No, what does it look like? What does it feel like? How happy are you? Who's there with you? How do you look? Are you smiling? What are you doing? Don't worry about what other people think. Okay, it is the thinking of the world that has us so feeling, rejected, or our body image, or embarrassed to talk about, the things that we've gone through. So don't, for this 10 days or this 60 days, do you, okay? Give yourself the permission to be the best you can be. If it's looking for another job, do that. Spend time in prayer, ask for help. Let's network. You are still grounded. So I don't want anyone thinking like, oh, this is too, whatever. You're still a ground. The whole point is that we live in alignment with our worldly self and our higher self. We need to start trusting our intuition, our emotions, our signs, our omens, the way the universe talks. Because just our five senses, it's too limiting. Our potential is way much more than that. And I want you to talk about wellness all the time. I want you to make that part of that's what you're doing as a wellness journey. Don't take it lightly. Read some books, some magazines, indoctrinate yourself. This is part of it. Get the Weight Watchers, get the app, start looking at what food is there. Read my book when you get it. Spend a lot of time with it. Carry it around. You should throw it in your purse, in your work bag, and be jotting, highlighting. It's made to write, and it's made to be your companion, so that you have it and you can look back and you can really do the work that you need. So I talked a lot longer than I meant to, but I just wanted to recap because I know we had some new people on the call, and I wanted to be really clear about the things that we're going to have. And I wanted to really work on the mindset. So I want to open it up for any questions. You can throw them in the chat, and you can unmute yourself. If you can't unmute yourself, then let me know and I can figure out how to unmute you. In the links, while I'm waiting for the questions to come, in the link, there's a link to go ahead and order if you haven't. And there's a link to the survey that Evan put in the chat box. You can fill the survey out if you haven't done that yet. Question? So who has, okay, so Nate, should we meditate with apps like Headspace? You can meditate with apps. You can call in with me. You can try some things on your own. So if you do, I know a couple of places, Oprah and Deepak, they just finished one, but they charged. This was like a 21-day. Headspace is good. Tide, the app Tide has some focuses, is that a word? They have, that's a good one. I use that. I even just use that when I'm writing or just want something like a vibration, or, like when people listen to waterscapes and birds chirping or a hand tick. That's a good one. But Headspace, also Audible. I just realized, because I listen to a lot of books on Audible, they have ones you can download, meditations. I think they're podcast meditations. So it's really, I think this is a good time just to try different things. And I can, like I said, I can lead some. I will be leading some if you want to try those. The simple way that anyone can do for just even 5 minutes is just to watch your breath. Close your eyes, get comfortable, and breathe in and breathe out. And breathe all the way in so your stomach comes out, and breathe out. That watching your breath in and of itself is a meditation. It keeps you present, and it's sort of it's almost like you breathe in spirit and breathe out, what ails you, but breathe in, breathe out. You're bringing the spirit and the world together. And you can make your own mantra and come back to that when your mind starts to wander, which it will. The point of meditation is not to stop thinking. It is to be present at your thoughts. It's to watch what you're thinking. And I'm gonna do one exercise real quick that we can just do, because it's I'll do it again on next week. I'm going to ask you these questions, and you just obviously respond inside. Are you aware at this moment? And what are you aware of? So what are you aware of? Now bring your attention to the you that is aware. That is the you that you're trying to connect with, not the you that's experiencing and doing, but you, the presence that is aware. And it's easy to get for a second, but it's hard to hold on to. And whenever I do that, it's people are like, oh, wow, that's sort of amazing. Because you're just like, oh, yeah, you become aware of being aware. So in your meditations, you'll be aware of being you'll be aware of what you're thinking about. And even that is good. So, okay. Will each week be recorded so we can view at another time or review past weeks? Yes, every week will be recorded. We are going to try to set up a separate page on my website that'll be a resource. So it'll have all of the old ones, but the last one's on YouTube. So actually it'll be my YouTube channel, which I don't use as much, but I definitely use the links to pull. But we will record them. We will house them in a place for you to go back. In as much as you can, try to stay up on them because, you know, when you fall behind, sometimes you'll never go back. Okay. Someone had the intention of low carb for last week, and I'm wondering, did that work? Let me know that your low carb intention worked. And what times will I lead the morning and evening meditations? You guys get to chime in on that right now. I would like to do them at 6, which sometimes zones that gets really early. I normally get up at 4:30, but I know that's not happening. So I would like to do them at 6, maybe 6:30 in the morning, and then again at 9 in the evening. So put in the chat box if that works for you or not, or if you had some other suggestions. And
I can't find my chat box.
Okay, that's good. I hear you. Okay, Sandra, go ahead.
So that sounds great. 4:30 would be.
Oh, I know. But 6:30 sounds okay.
Yes.
And what about 9 o'clock at night?
Perfect for me, but
okay,
I'm up late.
Good. I think that's a good. Yeah, I feel like that's a good. And literally, it's going to be 10, 15. I'm going to say 15 minutes tops, because I don't want people to be like overly burdened. People have different schools of thought. I'm a student of A Course in Miracles, and they say A Course in Miracles says that 5 minutes in the morning spent with the Spirit is enough to have you covered for the entire day. Some people say 30 minutes, some people whatever. But I think I like the 5 minutes, a minimum of 5 minutes. I usually obviously do longer, but I mean, to just start off, I think, so, and that's even if you're just like breathing and quiet and on your own and bringing your own mantras in. Another meditation, I just want to say that's an easy one to start doing. That when you're doing your breath, when you're close your eyes and you're calm and everything, that you would just want to be grateful in your body. And so this one thing, I think I saw it, I heard it, I read it somewhere, and then I saw it in a movie. Smile with your whole body, or smile with your liver. I thought that was cute. Like, what does it mean to smile with your liver? It just like you're just sort of like putting your whole body in a good mood, basically. And if you could stay in that space for a while, then that's a meditative state. That's a place of gratitude. So that's where we want to be. Okay, good. So it looks like those times work for a few people. 6:30 and 9 p.m. Good. I'm glad. And that's what we're going to do. And we'll be doing it on, I think I'm going to do it through Zoom. I may send out, because I can keep the beeps from happening. So people don't have to feel bad if they dial in a little late or whatever, that you won't be disturbing. I think I'll just open it up start at 6:30, end at 6:45. You come in, you go out, you listen, and that's that. So we'll get that going. You'll get the meeting invitations. That'll start on Wednesday. Any other questions? I know we are over a little bit. I meant to make this an hour and 15 minutes and start. I think the talks, I will talk for 30 or 45 minutes and leave the last, 15 or 30 minutes for conversation. Feel free. You don't have to use the chat box at this point. Next week when we get started, I think it'll be great to hear actual people's questions like Sandra just did. You just take yourself off mute and ask. And if everyone starts talking at one time, that would be a great problem to have. We'll figure that out. Okay. Any other questions? The books are coming. I'm so excited. I've been all over Evan. He said he promises me they're going out tomorrow because I wanted you to already have them in your hands today. But that's okay. We're going to go with the flow. There's nothing that's going to hold us back. And I just do have to say one more thing. I don't want anyone being stressed out. This is not a stressful process. It is important. It matters. I would like you to have the reverence and respect for becoming your best self and partnering, being a part of the universe, of the quantum, of giving that respect, taking it seriously and having fun. But it's not about adding more stress to your life. If this becomes stressful, if it's something you just can't do or don't do it. Don't make this counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish. And only you know that for yourself. I can say, though, that these things are worth trying. So I would ask you to try them. And I would ask you to try them for 10 days. And then if the next 50 days you're like, blah, 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 that's fine. But even if you do it for 1 day or 2, only you can decide those things. But really, really, you will get a lot out of it if I am always available to you by email. If you want to set up a one-on-one with me, do it through Calendly. I think that's I don't know if Evan sent the link out or not yet, but we'll have that available. We'll make sure that process is available for next week as well. And then other activities I'll come up with probably before we start next week. Like we talked about, maybe a happy hour on open these videos up and just sort of sit and chat maybe on a Friday afternoon, or do some exercise or walks with Tanya. Maybe on a Tuesday and a Saturday. And we will there's higher practices on the weekly. So even if you want to go above and beyond, you want to try some new things, I have recommendations here and we'll talk about those, like a day of silence. That's a powerful practice. Everyone's not ready for that. They'll just go crazy. But if you could try it, or maybe a day when we're doing mindful eating, a 12-hour fast. Eat breakfast, don't eat again until dinner. So anyway, I'm still chatting and our time is up. Any other questions, feel free to throw them out here. Anyone who wasn't on the call, if you have anyone else who wants to sign up, feel free to forward them the links and everything, because we're going to close this off on Saturday. Yeah, so that's it for this first. And I'm happy. I'm super excited about the participation. And I want to be sure I have enough time for everyone individually as well. And so that's all we have. And let me just make sure, because last time I think I missed some questions at the bottom. Okay, that's it. You can reach me directly whenever you want. And we will talk again. We'll figure out this link system, I guess. And we'll talk again next week. So get started May 1st, Wednesday. I'm excited. Good luck, everyone. And you'll hear from me shortly. Love and light.